Cleveland was the eastmost settlement. D. Settlements were built along waterways. Is it the D?
Yeah, so we saw, that was something else we discussed here. That was, especially when we were settling the U.S., you know, when you get to, you know, prior to the Industrial Revolution, everything, you needed good ways to move, you know, large amounts of people or goods or things like that. So that's why you get these, all of your settlements mostly around big waterways where you can transport things. So Ohio River is a great, you know, method of transportation at that time. Lake Erie, right? So Cleveland was right on Lake Erie. So you can get big ships out on Lake Erie. So you can bring stuff back and forth from Canada. And, you know, same thing. So, you know, you think about a lot of your cities in the US today, the older ones that were constructed around, you know, early settlements, it was basically because of their access to waterways. That was a, you know, big deal. As we move farther along, we go farther west where we don't have those rivers and stuff. You'll have, you know, train towns, right? You'll have where there's a train depot, or maybe there's, you know, where a couple different railroads converge. That's usually another place where you'd have a lot of settlements pop up. So 4 is D as in dog. Okay. Amina, are you available to read? Are you occupied? All right, she might not be available. So soon, I'll go ahead and read number 5. Soon after which historical event were most of the settlements in the Ohio Territory founded? So A, the American Revolution, B, the French and Indian War, C, the War of 1812, or D, the Civil War. So soon after which historical event? So if you look, most of this is occurring right at the end of the 1700s. Portsmouth, Zanesville, right at the early 1800s. So all of that is basically right after the American Revolution. So the American Revolution, you could say, starts, you know, more or less 1776, right, with the Declaration of Independence. Really, probably before that, but that means A, the American Revolution is founded right after that event. Of course, French and Indian War was basically a couple decades before that. We haven't got to the War of 1812 yet, or the Civil War, based on the timeline there, right? So early 1800s is where most of that is going to occur. All right, number 6. Let's go back to Etta. Take number 6 for us.
Okay, which of the following settlements was founded after all of the others? A, Cleveland, B, Portsmouth, C, Chillicothe, D, Zanesville. I'm gonna go with Portsmouth, B.
There you go, Portsmouth. Yeah, 1803. It was the last one here for our reasons in Ohio that's founded. So B, Portsmouth, for number 6. And with that, we got a new map here, United States southern region. So basically what's considered the southern region of the United States, from Oklahoma over to Maryland, Delaware, West Virginia, right? And then the rest of our southern states, coming across the Atlantic Ocean, occupying a lot of the Gulf Coast. So let's see what we have here. Grace, you want to take this one?
All right. Based on the map, which of the following statements is accurate? A, the U.S. southern region includes all states east of the Mississippi River. B, the U.S. southern region includes Virginia, but not West Virginia. C, the U.S. Southern region includes all states that feature the, is it the Appalachian?
Appalachian or Appalachian. Yeah.
Appalachian Mountains. And then D, the U.S. Southern region includes all states that border the Gulf of Mexico.
There you go. Yep.
Is it a D?
Yeah, D, right? This kind of related to the generalization section we did in language arts yesterday, right? The U.S. region includes all states that border the Gulf of Mexico. But yeah, we can definitely make that generalization here, right? Because Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, all are part of the South, all basically cover or, make up the landmass around the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so yeah, D is in dog for number 7. And then number 8, Christiana, you want to take number 8 for us?
Okay. Number 8. Which of the following cities is located in the U.S. Southern region? A. What's that?
Nashville.
Nashville. And B. That way, I don't know.
Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, Cincinnati. And C, St. Louis. And D is Wichita.
Yeah.
Wichita. Okay.
That one's a pretty tough one if you're not real familiar with our geography, is it? Yeah, so I'll help you out here. It's A, Nashville. It's
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to see another map of Tennessee here in a minute. I'll show you exactly where Nashville is, but it's sort of in the center of Tennessee, Tennessee being right here. And just for reference, Cincinnati, of course, is part of Ohio. So that's outside of the southern region. And St. Louis, often I kind of consider St. Louis a southern city, but it's in Missouri. So it's up here. And then what was the last one? Wichita. So that's in Kansas. I'm not sure exactly where Wichita is inside Kansas, but that's Kansas there. Okay. Next to St. Louis. So yeah, A, Nashville, and Tennessee for number 8.
Can I please ask a question?
What was that?
Can I please ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I'm having difficulties with the maps, especially when it comes to northeast, southwest. Like I don't know where they are located.
Okay. If you're looking at a map, okay, always consider the map compass. So let me go back to my drawing tool here. And that will help, right? So, every map should have your map compass. And always reference that. And I mentioned before, so north, nearly every map you ever look at, it's going to be oriented so north is up, right? Always north. So that gives you your first direction. And then, north, east, south, west. But as long as you have your compass rose on there, your map compass, you can always look at that. So of course, north, west is going to be that direction. Southwest is this direction. Southeast, that direction. Northeast is that direction. I know it looks a little crazy. So yeah, that's going to help you out. I still have trouble with that sometimes. I'm forgetting my left and my right. Sometimes when I look at a map. So just, take a breath and remember north's always up. east, west. Find your compass to help you out on that. Okay?
Okay.
Does that help some?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. LaToya, you want to take number 9?
Let's say, which of the following states borders a state in the U.S. southern regions? Let me see. Is it Michigan?
No, it's Pennsylvania. Yeah, because over here, yeah, since they include West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware as part of the southern region, you know, that all borders Pennsylvania. Okay, so 9, B as in boy, Pennsylvania. Okay, and let's see, same map. Tracy, I saw that you joined us here a minute ago. Are you following along? Are you on Unit 1 review? You want to read for us?
Yes.
Okay, number 10.
Number 10. About how far away are East Texas and West South Carolina? A, about 300 miles. B, about 500 miles. C, about 700 miles. D, about 900 miles. Texas and South California.
South Carolina, yes.
Yeah, I think about 900 miles.
That was my thought too. It's a little shorter than that. And this is one of those questions where you actually need to use your map scale and a ruler to get a more accurate distance. But it's saying 700 for 10. So C is in cat for 700. And it's just taking sort of the edge. And this is also a little bit subjective because it depends on where on the border. So from, you know, the eastern edge of Texas to sort of the western edge of South Carolina that you're measuring from, because it's going to change a little bit depending on how you measure. But roughly about 700 miles is what they're saying. So C as in cat for number 10. Okay.
Could you show me again the exactly location of Texas and Carolina? Because
Carolina?
The map didn't show the exact name, so I just have my memory.
Oh, you mean South Carolina?
Yes, South Carolina. Yes, I don't see it on the map, so I don't know exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so South Carolina is, so it's right here.
I see.
Yes. Georgia is down below it, North Carolina up above it. That's something else that I'm going to put up here soon is maybe with this one. Yeah, this might be the best time to put it up. Rachel had posted a video on learning the state. So it's not just a map. It's actually somebody giving you instruction on it. I'll see if I can find that in the older Google Classroom posts, and I'll put that on with the video today. So you guys will be able to kind of freshen up on your U.S. geography. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Okay, and Etta, you want to take number 11?
Okay, number 11. Which southern state shares a border with 7 other states in the southern region? A, Arkansas. B, Georgia. C, Mississippi. Or D, Tennessee. I'm gonna go with B.
B, Georgia. D, Tennessee. Georgia's pretty close though, because it's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you look at Tennessee, and I'll point it out here, my map doesn't keep flaking out on me. Okay. So Tennessee is right here. Okay. And then around it, you have Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas. That all, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are those states that surround Tennessee. So really kind of in the middle there. And also one of those states that got a lot of railroad traffic and river traffic, like cities like Memphis and Nashville, where kind of a roundabout for the South, where a lot of activity, a lot of trading and things occurred. Okay, so 11, D as in dog. Let's go back to Grace. How about you take number 12?
Okay. Which of the following is true about the southern region? A, West Virginia is the smallest state in the region. B, most of the states border the Atlantic Ocean. C, many of the states in the region formed the Confederacy in the Civil War. And D, the southern region occupies approximately half the land area of the United States. Is it D? D or B?
It's C as in cat. Even though it doesn't, we didn't really talk about that in this unit. Of course, we go on later and you find out, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama. So most of those states did make up the Confederacy, barring like Delaware, Maryland, and then later, West Virginia wasn't actually a state until the end of the war. So, but the rest of them certainly were all part of the Confederacy during the Civil War. So C is in cat for number 12. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this section, and then I'll get you guys to answer the questions here. So it says, read the passage. Oh, I think we got one of the hotspot maps coming up. Yeah. So we'll be clicking on the map here a lot. On January 1st, 2012, the majority, 86% of people in Canada lived in Ontario, Quebec, British Columbia, and Alberta. Between 1992 and 2012, the percentage of Canada's population living in Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia increased, while the percentage living in all other provinces declined. The population in the 3 territories, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, remained stable. The proportion of Canadians who live in urban areas has increased steadily since it's gained its independence from Great Britain. In 2011, more than 27 million Canadians, 81%, lived in urban areas, a reversal from more than a century ago. Also in 2011, the 3 large urban areas in Canada, Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, made up just more than a third, about 35% of Canada's entire population. The urban-rural distribution was uneven across the provinces and territories. Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta all had populations with urban proportions higher than the national level. Conversely, some provinces and territories had rural populations significantly higher than the national average, ranging from 28% in Manitoba to 53% in Prince Edward Island. Canada is a huge place, and it's a lot of empty places because it's, some of it's just because the climate, and it's just a vast territory. So the question then is, I'll go ahead and read it. Where is most of Canada's population located? So select the hotspot that best reflects the answer. Who wants to take a guess on that?
Is it the Prince Edward?
Close. Prince Edward being over farther in the Atlantic, but around the Quebec province right here. So Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec are all in that same region. So the big yellow box under Quebec is where we want to go. Okay. Southeast near Ottawa is a good way to put it. And a number 12 was C. C as in cat. Okay. All right, so I'll submit there. So 13 was southeast near Ottawa. Okay. Okay, the question here, Sasha Gay, you want to read the question for us? Take a shot at this one.
Okay. On the map, select the hotspot that indicates the name of a city in the Nunavut territory.
It's a lot of land to look at.
Man.
None of it is towards the upper center.
Like in the middle.
Yeah, like right around the Arctic Ocean and right there in the middle. So that's the territory you're looking for. And it spans, you know, a lot of water area, a lot of little islands.
Yellowknife.
So it's
the Iowa.
right here. Your guess is as good as mine with this. Iqaluit, I guess.
Equal it. I know, right?
Yeah, that's a funky one. But yeah, so that Iqaluit, we'll just go with that. If you don't know how to pronounce something, just say it with confidence, and that way everybody will think you know what you're talking about. That's what I learned teaching college kids.
Then you're gonna hear it the right way. You're gonna be looking at yourself like, what the heck was I saying?
Yeah. Just say Iqaluit, and then you move on real quick. Okay, so just click that one, Iqaluit, and submit. Okay, so that was number 14. All right, these maps are crazy. Okay, so Christiana, would you like to take a shot at the number 15? This is a big one.
Okay. The question says, on the map, identify the names of the province. Is it province?
Province.
Oh, province. That shares a border with the United States. Select all the hotspots that apply.
So all the provinces we're looking for that share a border with the US. And that one's pretty self-explanatory, right? We can just start looking at the map and say British Columbia, right, is one. Alberta, you know, we're looking at this border down here that goes across. Saskatchewan. Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. So you just kind of sweep, you can go right to left, left to right. Over here where you get near the Great Lakes and everything, it's a little hard to see, but you can see that like Quebec and New Brunswick up here around Maine and the northern states all share a border. All right, so just to make sure you guys get that one, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. All right. And maybe one more here. Tracy, would you like to read question 16 for us?
Yes. Which Canadian province or territory is the farthest north? Yukon, Ontario, Quebec, or British Columbia? Choose the correct hotspot on the map. Fun. No.
So you're going to have to basically, you know, if you're looking at this on a test, you'll just have to pick and go through and find each one. So British Columbia is down over here. So find that first, and then Quebec is over here. So that leaves us Ontario, which is right here, right? All of those share a border with the US. And then Yukon is way up here, right by Alaska. So it shares a border with Alaska.
Yukon.
So yeah, Yukon is the correct answer for 16. Yeah. That's what it is basically, right? Process of elimination. That one, you know, a lot of the things with the map are going to be, you know, sort of associating, you know, the question and then, you know, maybe hunting it down on the map. You might have to kind of like bounce back and forth a little bit until you find what you're looking for. But yeah, so Yukon, time of year to break out the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon and check out Yukon Cornelius. So Yukon, yeah, number 16. Okay, and Latoya, would you like to read number 17 for us?
Yeah. So we're not on 16?
16 was Yukon. Okay.
Oh,
That was
17. Okay.
Yeah, 17.
It say which city has the absolute location that is the closest to 60 degrees north, 120 degrees west. Click the hotspot on the map. The best answer the question. Okay, 60 degrees north is right here. We go to 120 west. Is it the Northwest Territories?
Yeah, and it's looking for a specific city. So right there is Yellowknife.
Yellowknife.
Yeah, right next to it. That's kind of it is fairly close, at least on this map. But you know, when you get into those upper latitudes, and you start getting close to the North Pole, those latitudes start getting closer and closer together because you know the Earth, the shape of the Earth. And you know, just like I'm putting this in the Google Classroom today. So I was talking about doing terms and everything for you guys. So I have like longitude, latitude, maps, you know, a bunch of stuff there for you guys to reference later. But yeah, so the closest one there is Yellowknife in the Northwest Territory for number 17. Okay. And let's see. Oh, got another Canadian one here. Population. So let's see. Etta, you want to take this one?
Okay, what is Canada's largest inland waterway? Click the hotspot that best represents your answer. So is it Hudson Bay?
There you go. Yeah, it's huge. And it's an upper waterway for them. That was, you know, we talked about a Northwest Passage through the United States. You know, there was talk that there maybe was one, you know, farther north in Canada somewhere. And you know, Hudson is named after the explorer, you know, the same guy that explored the Hudson River. He was also looking to see how far he could go, like into the continental United States from the Hudson River. So yeah, so Hudson Bay for 18. All right. still on with Canada. Canada's getting popular here today. So let's see. Sasha Gay, would you like to read for us?
Okay.
Number 19.
Which two Canadian provinces had a rural population significantly higher than the national average? Select the hotspot that represents your answer.
So that's also a reference to the our text that we looked at before. So you might have to go back and review that.
Is it the British Columbia?
No, it's the other two. It's Manitoba and Prince Edward Island. And that's what we're talking about, you know, because let's find that on the map here. Okay. So yeah, Manitoba. Map's going crazy again. Up here, sort of in the central Canada, and then Prince Edward Island over here. Okay. Okay, so Manitoba, Prince Edward Island for 19. And now we got a new map. All right. So continental United States average annual precipitation. You know, usually just like when you see water is blue on a map, anytime you see precipitation, it's usually, you know, from like a dark green to a light green into like browns and reds and things like that. That's pretty typical for any type of, you know, representing precipitation. And then, you know, we see where most of our rainfall occurs in the U.S., a lot in the south, some up, you know, in the north, and then quite a bit right on the Pacific coast, especially when you get up towards Seattle and Washington, you know, along Oregon, parts of California. Believe it or not, does get some rain when you get to the higher, when you get farther north and into the higher altitudes. And then, you know, your drier region through most of the Southwest and parts of the Midwest where it starts getting drying out. Tracy, you want to read our little paragraph or a couple paragraphs there on rainfall?
20?
Yeah.
Even though the United States is a large country, it features many different types of climate. The average annual precipitation, including rainfall and snowfall, is one way to view those differences. Rain forms when small cloud drops become too heavy for the cloud. Dust forms to us as rain. Rain can also begin as ice crystals that collect and form large snowflakes. As the snow falls to Earth through warmer air, the flakes melt and collapse into raindrops. Snowflakes are clumps of ice crystal that collect as they fall to Earth. Since snowflakes do not fall through a layer of air warm enough to cause them to smell, they remain intact and reach the ground and snow. the question. Based on the map and the passage, which of the following states had a low annual precipitation? A. Idaho. B. Nevada. C. Texas. D. Arizona.
To help you guys out there, so Texas is down here, our big state, right? Arizona is over here. Nevada up here. And what was the other one that said? Idaho? Or no, yeah, Idaho. Idaho is up here, potato country.
So Nevada is the low is
yeah, lowest precipitation, lowest annual precipitation. Yeah, you got it. B, Nevada is correct there, right? It does get some rainfall, you know, sort of in the upper elevations and stuff, but yeah, as far as overall annual precipitation, it is the driest state. You know, if you ever drive, if you've gotten a chance to drive through there, if you've ever flown over it or anything like that, it's just brown. Once you get to Utah, you get out of the mountains in Colorado, and you're still in a lot of high elevations and everything, but you get over into Utah and it's just, there's a lot of beautiful, you know, scenery and stuff in places, but at times it's just like, it's just desert. It's just brown. Yeah, so B is Nevada for 20. Okay. Latoya, you want to take question 21 for us?
And say, which areas of the United States probably has the most diverse climate? And I think diverse means mixed.
Yeah. So yeah, diverse, basically a wide range, wide variety.
It's over here on this corner in the left.
Over on Pacific Coast?
Over there. Yep.
Yeah. So Pacific Coast, right? The Atlantic Coast gets a lot of rain up and down, you know. So, you know, Florida, you can almost set your watch by it in the evenings, like late afternoons. It'll rain there almost every day. And then, you know, up and down. Of course, over here in Ohio, even we get our share of rainfall. The thing over here, though, with Pacific Coast, you get that diversity, right? You have really arid climates in Southern California. And then, you know, you hear about Seattle, it's always rainy and cloudy and foggy in Seattle. So you get into Oregon, Washington State, those areas, you know, you get a mix along the coast. This is also good, like wine growing areas, right? Sonoma, California, up in the northern part, Oregon and Washington have sort of made their name in growing grapes, varietal grapes for wine. So A, the Pacific Coast for 21. All right. And 22, Sasha Gay, you want to take that one?
Okay. In which of the following states receives between 0 to 128 inches in annual precipitation? I struggle with these because I don't know, like, all
I know California is over here to the south.
There you go. Actually, yeah, the answer is California. And this is one of those you got, you know, you got to know your states and you got to, you know, take a look at the maps. The first thing you know is to look at your range. So it's saying from 0 per year all the way up to 128. So it's got to be a state that covers the entire range from 0, you know, from that brownish color all the way up to the dark green. And then that's when you start scanning your map, you know, looking, you know, well, for those states. So California, right? As we see here, it goes from that shade of brown all the way up to the dark green in spots. And out of our 4 choices here, that's going to be the one through process of elimination we go for, right? New Mexico, nope. New Mexico over here by Texas only has brown and yellow. And then Colorado even right here gets a little more, right, in those upper elevations, the snowfall and everything. Still a little bit drier. And Wisconsin over here. Also fairly dry. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's 22 is B then. California. Christiana, would you like to take 23 for us?
Okay. The question says, which of the following state has the highest annual precipitation? A, Florida, B, Kansas, C, North Dakota, and D, West Virginia. Oh.
So just to review, right? Kansas or West Virginia, right underneath Ohio here.
Florida is at the bottom.
Yeah, Kansas is over here. Florida, right down here. And what was the other one? North Dakota, all the way up here.
So is D?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, A, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida's the panhandle state, right? Down here at the bottom. Points out into the Atlantic islands. Yeah, so A, I'm sorry. Yeah, A, Florida for 23. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I'll go ahead and read this one. So the Republic of Botswana is a country in Southern Africa that is slightly smaller than the state of Texas and about the same size as France or Kenya. Most of landlocked Botswana is characterized by vast and nearly level sandy basins and scrub-covered savanna. The Kalahari Desert in the southwest makes up much of the country. Botswana's sparse population is concentrated in the eastern part of the country. Most areas are too arid to sustain any agriculture other than cattle. Botswana experiences extremes in both temperature and weather. Winter days are normally clear, winter days being May through August, are normally clear, warm, and sunny, and nights are cool to cold. In summer, October to April, rains can render the country's mostly sandy roads impassable. This is also the time of the most humidity and stifling heat. During the long days, temperatures of more than 105 degrees Fahrenheit are common. A former British colony, Botswana gained its independence in 1966 with almost 50 years of civilian leadership. Progressive social policies and significant capital investment of Botswana enjoys one of the most dynamic economies in Africa. Diamond mining dominates the country's economic activity, but Botswana is becoming a tourist destination due to its extensive nature preserves and conservation practices. All right, there's our map of Botswana. A lot of times you'll have an inset map on your map, you know, that will either a portion of it to, you know, zoom in, or they'll zoom back out to give you some type of reference. So, you know, here it's showing you the location on the continent of Africa. And then at a smaller scale, it blows it up so you can see a little more detail of Botswana and the other, you know, countries and things that are surrounded. Okay, so question was 24. Tracy, would you like to read question 24 for us?
Yes, which of the following statement about Botswana economy is true? A, mining, cattle raising, and the country's natural reserve provide income for Botswana citizens.
I think you're down one question too many.
Ah, yes, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, 24 is what we're looking at.
Yeah. 24, based on the map and the passage, what can you assume about Botswana? A, the Kalahari Desert is sparsely populated. B, Botswana City are all located along its waterway. C, most of Botswana City are located near the short band. D, most of Botswana City are located south of the Tropic of Capricorn. So I think
so I'll go ahead and I'll give you a hand here. It's A.
I can't remember on the message and on in the passage.
Yeah, you have to sometimes go back. So between the passage, what it says there, and if you look at the map too, the Kalahari Desert is the least populated or most sparsely populated. So A for 24. Okay. Let's see, LaToya, you want to take 25?
Which of the following statements about Botswana economy is true? B.
A, mining, cattle raising, and the country's nature preserves provide income for Botswana. And let's see if I can point that out. It's kind of, I think it's several spots here. So like at the bottom, it says diamond mining dominates the country's economic activity, but becoming a tourist destination due to its extensive nature preserves and conservation practices. And then, yeah, and then above it, it mentions there's cattle. Where's that part at? Yeah, most areas are too arid to sustain any other agricultural activity other than cattle. So in your first paragraph and your last paragraph is where you get that economic information. 25 is A.
Okay, so I maybe.
26. Etta, you want to take 26?
So which of the following statements about, or is that the one we just read?
Yeah, 26. Next one.
Okay. About the economy is true?
No, that's true. That's 25. That's the one we just did. That's A. So the next one down, 26. Which of the following cities is Botswana?
Okay. Which of the following cities Botswana is the capital? A, Manminyu, Francistown, Malapi, or Gaborone? Is it B?
It's
or A?
It's D. I think it's Gaborone.
Okay, I see it down there with the star. I didn't find it at first.
Yeah, that one's kind of tough, especially with the scale of the map and everything. You know, I'm glad I got my new glasses on, got my progressive lenses, so I can actually see it. Yeah, so just you know, when you get like if it's asking about a capital or major city, something like that on a map, always make sure that you double check your map key, and you know, maybe squint those eyes a little bit to find the answer there. So that is D 26. Let's see. Sasha Gay, you want to take 27 for us?
All right. Traveling west from Mamuno, into which African country would you enter? A, Angola, B, Zimbabwe, C, South Africa, D, Namibia, D?
Yep. Straight across west from Botswana is Namibia. That's D. All right. And yeah, so there's our map of Tennessee, with some population density, you know, which we talk a lot about. You see where it gets, you know, you get denser population around those major cities in Tennessee: Knoxville, Nashville, Chattanooga, and Memphis in particular. Clarksville, Kingsport, Johnson City, you get some, but those other areas is where you see a lot of population. You also notice like around some of the waterways, right? So the Cumberland River, you see, you know, a lot more, and that's going to be for several reasons, right? Maybe some older settlements that grew up around river trade and things like that, or agriculture, because you get those, you know, good rich soil around rivers for farming. And so it says Tennessee is located in the southern region of the United States. It is the 17th most populous state in the United States. The 2010 census reported Tennessee's population at 6,346,106 inhabitants, an increase of more than 650,000 people since 2000. Let's see, Christiana, how about 28? No Christiana right now? Okay, Grace? What about you? You want to take that one? Not losing everybody now. Okay, go ahead.
Based on the map in the passage, why might there be a large area of population density near the center of the state? A, all of the 10 major cities are centrally located. B, the Appalachian Mountains are located in the central part of the state. Nashville is located, C, Nashville is located in this area. And D,
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga is located in this area.
So talk about the center area here.
Okay. A.
So it's C, because it's located near Nashville, right? So Nashville is not only, you know, one of the major cities, it's the capital. So it's all of that population is basically grown out of being around the capital in that major city. C for 28. C is in cat. Okay. And let's see. Tracy, want to read 29?
Yes, 29. Which of the following states that shares a border with Tennessee and also with South Carolina. Tennessee and
Of course, we're talking about Tennessee there in the middle. South Carolina's off to the east here on the side.
Yeah. Sorry, it's not. I don't know.
So it's right here, Georgia. So up here's Tennessee on the top, and then over here, South Carolina. So Georgia rests sort of underneath Tennessee and to the side of South Carolina. Okay. All right, so A, Georgia for 29. Okay.
Oh, Tennessee is the old green area.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, that green area there is the around the borders of Tennessee. So that's right there in the middle. Georgia's underneath, right here. Yeah, I remember on that earlier map we were talking about how many states were around Tennessee. So there are 7 states total, and Georgia is right there. All right. Okay, so A, Georgia for 29. I'll go ahead and read this one, number 30. So based on the map, which area of the state has the lowest population density? A, between the counties northeast of Chattanooga and southwest of Knoxville. B, between the counties west and southwest of Clarksville and northeast and southeast of Jackson. C, the counties located around Nashville. Or D, the counties located in the north central part of the state. So area of the state has the lowest population density, and you're using, what it's telling you there based on the cities it's locating. And that one's a little bit tricky, but
is it B?
Look, it's B, right? Between the counties west and southwest of Clarksville. So west and southwest of Clarksville, right here, down here. So Nashville's not too far away, but right in this area, in the upper part of the state, that's the lowest population density. It's where you get those clearer areas. Okay. So 30 is B. And 31, LaToya, you want to take 31 for us?
Let's say, based on your knowledge of the geographic, why do you assume there's a large population area located in the southwestern part of the state? It's A, the Tennessee River and Memphis are located in this area. B, the Mississippi River being near the location of the states. C, Memphis is the located. Memphis is the located. There's state capital. D, the Mississippi River and Memphis are located in this area. Hold on, I gotta look back at the map.
Sure.
So southwest. Is it D?
Yeah, D, right? So you have the city of Memphis, and thinking about Southwest, looking at our map compass, right? So we know if it's Southwest Tennessee, it's going to be in this direction, over here. And what converges there? Basically, we have the Mississippi River that's making up part of the border along the west of Tennessee, and then Memphis. So you get that high population density because of those two two features. So D, that's a dog for 31. Okay, we're on our last, another hotspot map. Let me read this here. So the term Balkan is a geographical designation for the easternmost of Europe's 3 southern peninsulas. 2 major mountain ranges dominate the peninsula. The Dinaric Alps in the west, which run parallel to the Adriatic coast, and the high Carpathian Mountains in Romania. In addition, the Balkan Mountains lie east-west across Bulgaria. The coastlines of the peninsula's southern and western countries are rugged and rocky. The landscape of the Balkan Peninsula is suitable primarily for raising animals and small-scale farming. Countries such as Croatia, Romania, and Bulgaria enjoy arable land. Arable meaning, basically good for agriculture. Fertile land for farming also lies along the valleys of the Danube, Sava, and Vardar rivers, as well as part of the Aegean coast. Elsewhere, land cultivation is mostly successful because of the mountains, hot summers, and poor soils, although grapes and olives thrive in certain areas. Energy resources are scarce, except in Kosovo, where citizens mine coal and other mineral deposits. Mining of coal also contributes to the economies of Serbia, Romania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Bulgaria. Romania also is home to some soil deposits. Oh, I'm sorry, not soil deposits, oil deposits. Although natural gas deposits are scarce throughout the region, the Balkan countries have widely accepted renewable energy sources such as wind and hydropower. And that's what they call the Balkans here. And it'll mention here, this is the former border of Yugoslavia, which was a communist state. It was independent of the Soviet Union, but it was known as a communist state during the Cold War. And everything in there, Slovenia, Croatia, you have a large, diverse ethnic population. And when Yugoslavia started falling apart, all these groups want to start splitting up, and there's been war there. We still have troops in Kosovo that have been there since the 90s during a lot of the trouble there with Serbia. Yeah, so a lot of that broke up. Anyhow, let's take a look at our question. Let's see. Latoya, you want to take question 30, what's this, 32?
Say, which city lie on the Black Sea? Select the correct hotspot on the map. Is it the Burgas?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Black Sea is over here. Burgas is our hotspot right there. Okay. Here we go. Etta, you want to take 33 for us?
Okay. Is it which Balkan country has the most northwestern location? Click on that country's name.
Yeah.
Where is Balkan?
Let's think about our directions here, right? North running up and down, northwest. So what is the farthest northwestern? Taking into account both directions.
Slovenia?
Yeah, Slovenia. That's the farthest west. Of course, Romania has a farther northern extent, but it's not northwestern. So Slovenia for 33. Okay, I'm going to take the next one. It's got a bunch of answers to it. So this, and I was just talking, okay, so identify the Balkan country whose industries include mining. select all the hotspots. Okay, so 34 then. It mentions up here, right? Mining of coal also contributes to the economy of Serbia, Romania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Bulgaria. So Kosovo, it's our little guy here in blue. Serbia is next door to the north.
I'm still so let me see.
Slovenia? Is that what you said you're looking for?
Is that the one, the first one with the C?
Oh, on the sea, the Black Sea, Burgas. That's over
Burgas.
here. Yeah, you see the green Bulgaria? It's right next to that.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. And then Slovenia is your next answer for 33. Okay, so we said Kosovo, Serbia, okay, and then Romania, which is our one of the larger countries for the Balkans. Bosnia and Herzegovina is over here. So that's one. And then finally, Bulgaria. So there's 5 total. All right, let's say them again. Kosovo, Serbia, Romania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Bulgaria. Okay. Lots of clicking on these last few. Okay. So that was 30. You missed one?
Yeah, I'm trying to find which one I don't got on here.
If you really need to, you can reset.
I didn't answer it yet. I was looking at it. I got the Romania, that one. I think I got the one in the middle, the Kosovo.
Kosovo and Serbia, those are almost on top of each other when you click the box. So you can see, like if you look at my map, how close they are. They make almost one big box when you click them together.
Okay.
Yeah, should be 5 total.
Okay, I got them.
Cool. Okay. All right. I want to take care of this next one too, because it's the same thing. It's got a bunch of them. And yeah, so here, what I was mentioning before, so which current countries made up the former Yugoslavia? And, you know, again, we talked about the 84 Olympics before, right? Mary Lou Retton. So the Winter Olympics of 84 was in Yugoslavia, and now I forget the name of Sarajevo. It was Sarajevo. And in 84, you know, like Yugoslavia, you know, usually when a country holds the Olympics, it's because their economy's doing well and they want to show everything off. And things were pretty good in 84 in Yugoslavia. So Sarajevo held the Winter Olympics that year. And then everything right after that started falling apart. And I remember just a few years ago, it was during one of the Olympics, they had revisited like some of the, you know, locations where they had hosted some of the events and everything. It was just, everything was bombed out and just looked horrible. But yeah, so, you know, once there's a sort of power vacuum, they have all these people there who are not alike. It was one of those situations where they don't share a lot of culture, they don't share religions, they don't share anything really to form any type of union. And once you know, Yugoslavia fell, that's why you got all these little states there now, because there was a lot of civil war. In Serbia, they had a problem with what they call ethnic cleansing, because the UN, the United Nations, wouldn't declare genocide, but you had a lot of just, you know, sort of mass killing going on there. So anyway, to get on track here, all the countries around that red line make up the former Yugoslavia. So I'll go through here. Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Macedonia, Montenegro, this little one, Montenegro right there, and Kosovo. And I'm kicking a cat out of my lap right now because she's starting to claw me. Get off here. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go back through that. Slovenia at the top, Croatia next door, Bosnia Herzegovina, Serbia, Macedonia, Montenegro, and Kosovo. Just make sure all those little states around that red circle, make sure you click all of those for 35. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 new countries out of the former Yugoslavia. Okay. Give you guys a second. Everybody getting caught up there?
Trying to make sure I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And that's the thing I think I've mentioned too. If you don't click them all, but you click the correct ones, it doesn't really give you a wrong answer when you hit that submit button because they all turn green until I think you actually submit it down here. So that's one of those you got to make sure that you click everything. So there should be 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay, we got 4 left here. And I think we'll have a new, yeah, now we're talking about Hawaii. So just a little map of Hawaii here. I'll go ahead and read real quick so we can finish up here. It's running kind of long today. So the state of Hawaii is a chain of volcanic islands located in the Pacific Ocean. The state's rainfall pattern is quite diverse. Average annual precipitation ranges from 8 inches near the summits of Mauna Loa, here we go, and Mauna Kea on the Big Island to 404 inches near Big Bog on the windward slope of Haleakala National Park. Maui, in general, high average rainfall is found on the windward mountain slopes, and low rainfall prevails in leeward lowlands and on the upper slopes of the highest mountains. Surprisingly, perhaps the highest peak also received several inches of snow. In general, the wetter season is winter and the drier season is summer. There are exceptions, such as those areas of the Big Island of Hawaii that have a summer rainfall maximum caused by land and sea breeze convection. Latoya, you want to take 36 for us?
Yes, based on a map and a passage, which of the following cities has the lowest annual precipitation? And the lowest is this pinkish color.
It's a lot to look at.
It is.
Yeah.
Is it C?
It is, yeah, it is C. Kahului. It's Kahului. Yes, of course. So it is C. It's C as in cat. 37. Etta, would you like to do 37?
Okay. It says, based on the map and the passage, which of the following cities has the greatest annual participation? Trying to find all of them on the map. Is it Honolulu?
No, it's a kilo. Yeah, let me point that out for you.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that. Oh, it's down there. Okay, in the green.
Yeah, yeah. They're tough. You know, that's a lot of information to look at. So, you know, best thing is just, you know, when you see a question about like greatest annual precipitation, just start looking at, you know, those dark areas and seeing which cities pop up for your answer choice there. Okay. Grace, you want to take 38 for us?
All right. Which Hawaiian islands have the lowest annual precipitation? A, big island of Hawaii and Lana. B, the names are too big.
Yeah, Kaho'ola, I guess.
Kaho'ola and Molokai. Molokai and Nihu for C. Lanai, Kaho'ola, and Nihu. Okay. Is it? Okay, K and N. The K and N. D.
Yeah, D. There you go. All right, 38. Okay, 38's D as in dog, and I'll finish this out here. So what is the approximate distance between Honolulu and the Haleakala National Parks? So is it A, approximately 100 miles, B, 150 miles, C, 200 miles, or D, approximately 250 miles? So Honolulu is here on Oahu, and the Haleakala National Park is down here. And if we broke our ruler out, we'd find out that is about 150 miles. So it's B as in boy, 39. That was a doozy. That was a lot of questions. Okay. So B as in boy for 39. Okay. So that's a review. As I mentioned, I'll have that up on Google Classroom here later today. And on that, yeah, I've already put some